Erica and Sharon are sisters who began their grief journey in 2006 when Erica's 10-year-old son Austin drowned. Together, they participated in a grief education program, were so moved by this experience, they studied and became specialists so they could help the brokenhearted find recovery. In 2015, tragedy struck their family once again when Erica's oldest son Donovan was killed in a motorcycle accident. Erica and Sharon are committed to sharing their experiences of love, loss, and healing through this podcast. Now your grief specialists, Sharon and Erica.
Hey friends, welcome to Healing Starts with the Heart, where it's all about you, the griever, and your broken heart. We're so excited to have you here today and to be a part of our show. If you're listening to this show, there's a huge probability that your heart could be broken, either recent or long ago, from a death, a divorce, a breakup of a romantic relationship. Erica and I are not going to try and tell you how you feel because you already know. At best, we could tell you what it felt like when our broken hearts occurred. I am Sharon Brubaker, and I'd like to introduce you to my sister, Erica.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's always so great to do another series of these shows because I know for Sharon and I, when we first had our losses, we didn't know what to do. We had no direction. We had no guidance. And if we can provide some of that for you today, that's just, makes this all worth it.
Erica, we have an amazing guest today. And this is my brother-in-law, Roderick. Hey, Roderick.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Erica, you know Uncle Rod. We call him Uncle Rod. We love him.
Yes.
He's so amazing.
Good morning, Rod.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day to both of you and all the other mothers out there.
Yeah. Hey, guys, we're recording this on Mother's Day weekend, which is really kind of cool. But we're prepping for our next month's show, which is Father's Day.
All right.
Yeah. So for Mother's Day, we did a show called Mother's Day Without a Mother. And now we're doing Father's Day. When you show up for that first Father's Day without your child.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable, huh?
Yep.
Unbelievable. So, Rod, I want you to tell our friends as little or as much about your story as you like. Your story with my nephew, Peanut, and just what his life was like and how full he was of life.
He was amazing. He was my firstborn, first of all, and he was an amazing character. He did things his way. I always wanted him to finish school, go to college, get a good job. His idea of life was being a rebel. He always wanted to ice skate uphill. Didn't finish school, had one or two jobs, was always in and out of trouble. But at the end of the day, he was my son, and I loved him dearly. And on December the 15th, it was a Friday. My sons and I would get together and have coffee. And my other two sons couldn't make it. And just Lil Rod and I was there. His name is Lil Rod, but we call him Peanut. And so we sat in the backyard by my pond and we laughed and talked for maybe 2 hours. And that was a Friday. And that Monday, the 18th, while receiving dialysis, he went into cardiac arrest and they couldn't revive him. And it was just like a shock. I remember the phone call. I had work that day. I got home about 10:30. I was in the shower and I heard the phone ringing. Got out of the shower and I didn't recognize the number. I'm thinking like, who's calling me? So I did a redial and it was Sentinel Hospital. And immediately I just started thinking like, what has happened now? And he had been sick before and had issues with his health. And when they said he was on life support, it just kind of like took me for a loop. And I was like, what? And so I dry off, get dressed, I go outside, get in my car. I had a flat tire. I'm thinking like,
oh no.
So how am I going to get there? So I bundled up. It was really cold that night, and I bundled up, and I think I'll just catch the bus. And just as I was walking out the door, my son Kevin called, and I explained to him what had happened. came pick me up, and when I got there and I saw him, he had, you know, tubes in and out, and going like, man. And as a parent, you never think that something would happen to your kids.
Yeah.
You know, I would always, whenever I saw my sons, we always prayed, and I always kissed my sons. You know, I kissed them on the forehead, and I always prayed. And I always told little Rod, you know, Dad's not gonna always be around. You know, not knowing he would leave before me.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, it happened December the 18th, and he stayed on life support until January 31st. But that time span, it was like every day I would go to work and go to the hospital and hope for the best, you know, pray with him. And I had a routine. I would rub his hands and massage his feet, and he had very little activity. Just his eyes was open. He never said a word. He never moved or anything like that. So they ran a number of tests on him to see if he had any brain activity, and he didn't. And so now the decision was, you know, do we pull the plug? You know, his brothers and I, we got together, and it wasn't an easy decision, you know, my sons and I, we agreed, whatever the decision was, it would stay with us forever. You know, we wouldn't share with our spouse, and wouldn't share with anybody. And I remember my sons telling me that, well, Pops, you know, this is what we think we should do, and this is what you need to do. And it fell on me, and I can remember praying and asking God not to put that burden on my heart. And I can remember January 31st, coming home from work, got home, fixed me something to eat. I took a shower, and I was really tired that day. And I didn't go see him. I was gonna go see him later because he was in a nursing home. So because he was in intensive care, I could go see him anytime. And I can remember getting in my chair and putting my robe on, kind of like taking a nap. And something said, get dressed. So I get dressed, and I sit in my chair with my robe on, watching TV, or TV was watching me. And I get a phone call, and it was the hospital. And they said he had flatlined again. And he had done that a couple of times prior to the 31st. And the nurse said, we're working on him, but we don't know. So I jumped in my car, and I can remember being late in the evening, so traffic was really bad. But it seemed like it took me like 3 minutes to get there. I got there, and they were still working on him. And I walked in, and I just kind of just said, let him go. You know, he's fought a good fight. He's, you know, I didn't think he had any more fight left in him.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was time for him to transition over. And I went and whispered in his ear, told him I love him, and I'll miss him very much. And I can remember him just kind of like being at peace. The look on his face, you know, the whole time he was in this transition part when he had the heart attack, and he would kind of like twist his mouth kind of like to the side. But when I went there and I saw him and I told him it would be okay, I would miss him. But he had fought a good fight. It was like, it wasn't a smile, but it was maybe like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know. It's funny. The stories this cat has put me through was like,
It was hysterical.
Unbelievable.
He was a quiet giant, though.
Yeah, he was.
He lived a big life, but in a quiet way.
Yes.
Erica, you remember Peanut? He was so
I do.
quiet. Yeah.
You know, he was, the things he put me through was like, And it was okay with him. He was good with it. The thing that haunts me the most is that there was a time he lived in a shelter, and I was married at the time, and my wife didn't want him to stay at the house, and being a husband, I was torn, and I would tell him, you could come and have dinner with Pops, but you can't spend the night. And he was okay with that. He goes, oh, Pops, I'll get to the shelter, and I would drop him off. And but it haunts me to this very day.
Yeah.
Because as a father, I was his father before I was a husband. And I think I disappointed him. I let him down.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to talk about that a little bit more. So, you and I have been family members for about 35 years.
I think I had hair when you first.
Yeah, you don't have hair now. And so, after Peanut passed away, I didn't contact you right away. We did the services. We hung out. And I'm not even sure if you knew I was doing grief then.
I didn't.
I don't think you even knew that I was doing grief recovery then. But it was probably, I don't know, I saw a post or something from you, and it was about a month or two after Peanut had passed that I picked up the phone and I called you.
Yes.
And I said, hey, let's get together. I think I can help you.
And I was hesitant too.
Yeah, you were hesitant.
I go, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, crazy.
You know,
Most people are. Most people want to avoid us like the plague. They don't want to talk about it at all.
Well, you know, I was under the impression, I call my sons and my grandsons cowboys. They're my little cowboys. And I thought I was just going to put my boots on, cowboy up, and get back in the saddle. Man, was I in for a rude awakening.
Okay, let's go right there. So when I met you, you literally 100% thought you could cowboy up,
Yes.
that you could push through it, and that
Yes.
you could be strong. Rod and I met in a restaurant in LA.
Yes.
And even when I saw you there, you were still trying to be strong, even to
Yep.
that moment.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we sat down to start talking, and you were like, how am I going to do this?
Yes.
How am I going to do this?
Yes. And I had no idea. And you know, it's really funny because, you know, the men that I looked up to was my two older brothers. And I never saw them cry. So I really didn't know how to just let go.
Let it happen.
To let it happen. I just didn't know how to. And I fought with it. And meeting and talking to you probably was the thing that saved me a lot of grief. And the travel down this road without my son has been difficult.
Yes.
But having you and telling me what to do and how to do it, I brought this book. I need you to autograph it.
Oh.
It was like a roadmap on
Yes.
how to get out of that minefield
Yeah.
that I was in.
And the other thing is, you and I didn't meet weekly in LA. We're about 45 minutes apart, so we met online.
Yes, we did.
And even how was that experience for you? It was like you didn't have to leave your home to do the program.
No, it was actually, I actually looked forward to it because each week I had an assignment to complete.
Yeah.
So each week in that time span, I look forward to completing it because I wanted to let him know that I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't easy either, Rod,
no,
was it?
It wasn't easy.
Erica, remember when we did our grief work? It was not easy.
No, it's not. It was not easy at all. But I think one of the things that is the most helpful is to just have somebody there to normalize it for you. Normalize what you're feeling. Normalize that, you know, it's okay to have crappy days and that, you know, to not want to leave, and it's okay to break down at any moment. Just to have someone say that all that is okay and not to make you feel like, you know, like you telling you what society says is be strong. You have to be strong. You're a man. You're a big, strong man. Don't cry. Don't show emotions. But to let someone say, cry as much as you want, scream, yell, do whatever you need to get yourself, through these moments, I think that is very, very helpful.
You know, the thing that Sharon helped me with is that I really, a few years ago, I lost my mom, and before that, I lost my sister. And my sister and I was very close, and I was a mama's boy. And so when she transitioned over, I never really put a closure to that. I just did what I had to do and put my boots on and just move forward. But when Little Rod transitioned over, it was totally different. It was like, what do I do? How do I take that next step? And then Sharon came along, and I really kind of like, we had talked a few times, and I kept putting her off, and finally she said, well, I'm in LA, so let's have lunch. And we had lunch, and I think I cried through most of the lunch because it was like, I couldn't keep that facade up any longer.
Yeah.
I couldn't, because I had gone back to work, and everybody said, well, how do you do it? And I was like, I'm just cowboy up. And, little did they know, on the way home, I was crying like Dale Rogers, but I didn't know what to do. And Sharon, I mean, I was in a minefield, and Sharon said, okay, this is the first step. And I just started reading the book, and every week we talked, and I haven't forgotten him, but I'm planning to start living my life to the fullest.
And that's what Erica says.
Yeah.
She says that a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten him.
Yeah.
They will always be a part of my life, but I'm living.
Yeah.
Right, Erica?
Yeah, I mean, I say that, I just said it last weekend. I will carry them in my heart forever.
Forever.
My boys will always be with me. I will miss them every day, but I am still living my best life.
Sharon gave me this package, and I guess whenever you think about them, you're supposed to write down.
Yeah.
So my last entry was like May 1st, or right around that time, and I was watching the playoffs. He was a sports fan. He loved the Raiders. He loved the Lakers. And he and I were both, if I was a Golden State fan, he was a Golden State fan. So I was watching basketball, and he was so happy. He was so heavy on my heart. And I was having a cup of coffee. And my sons and I, he would always say, Pops make the best coffee. And I was having a cup of coffee, and I felt his presence so big that I actually got up and walked through the house looking for him.
Rod, you do something really great as a dad. Share us about your coffee clutches. It's a men's group.
It's a men's group.
No women allowed.
No, it's
and Peanut was a big part of that.
Yes, he was.
So all your sons come together.
Yeah, we would meet at my house. It's really strange because when I was married, they didn't come to the house. But after things went south, my sons and I, we mended any bridges that we had cracks in, and we moved forward. And so every week on my off day, I would call them and say, hey, I'm off Wednesday or Thursday, and let's do coffee. And they would come over, and we would sit in the backyard by my pond and drink coffee. And it's funny, it's like I'm a coffee drinker, and my sons started drinking coffee at an early age because of me and my mom. So we would sit back in the backyard, and we had stories to tell. And one story with Peanut, with Lil Rod, is that one year he didn't have a car. So I purchased him a little used car. It was like a Toyota. It wasn't nothing fancy, but it got him from point A to point B. And he was cool with it. I took him to see the car. He said, "Yeah, I like it, Pop." So I paid the guy for the car, and he took it home. And one day he goes to Long Beach, and he stayed gone for about a week. And then he comes home. Somebody drops him off and takes his car. I come home from work. Go, "Hey man, where your car at?" He goes, "Oh, my girl has it." I go, "Okay." 2 weeks go by. I go, "Son, where's your car at?" "Oh, Pops, you asking about my car? You gave me that car." I go, "Yeah, but it was my money." I go, like, "Where's the car at?" "I gave it to somebody, Pop. Stop bugging me about that car." And I thought, like,
That story cracks me up.
Wow, okay. That was money I just burned away, okay. But that was him.
That's the part of the quiet giant. He did what he wanted to do, and he did it his way, which was really cool.
Yes, he did.
At some point after Peanut's death, Father's Day came along.
Yeah.
And you had to approach the very first Father's Day without him.
Yes.
And I kind of guided you through that, which was have a plan.
Yeah.
Don't just let the holiday come without a plan.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, that very first Father's Day?
It was difficult. So what I did the very first Father's Day, Lil Ryder is cremated. He and my mom are together. So we drink coffee. I filled my thermos up with coffee, got a cigar. I have a little chair that I keep in my car, and I went down there and I had my cup of coffee and my cigar with me. And I took pictures and I sent to my sons to show them that I was with Buck and we were having coffee. And I could hear him saying, "Pops make the best coffee." That's, that was his favorite line. "Pops make the best
You
coffee."
did something else to memorialize him, and you got a tattoo.
Yes, we all got a tattoo. My very first tattoo. Because we drink coffee, on our chest, on my chest over my heart, is a coffee. It's a little small coffee cup that has Buck, because I called him Buck. Originally called him Peanut, but he had this show that he couldn't pronounce Welcome Back Carter. He just knew they called him Buckaroo. So he would say Buck show. So I put Buck under my cup. His brothers all had Peanut under their cup with a little steam coming out. So,
That is so sweet.
It's so amazing. He sent me the picture when he had it done, and I thought that was so awesome.
And, it's amazing. As a parent, you don't get a handbook on how to be a parent, on what to do, what not to do. You argue with your kids. They may not speak to you for a while, and at the end of the day, they're still your kids.
Yeah.
They're your DNA.
Yeah.
They're your seed. They're your, and my sons and I are now, we're so close, it's incredible. There's not a day where we don't talk. Every morning I wake up at 2 o'clock. So at 2:02, I'm texting the boys and saying good morning. Everybody's asleep, or they'll wake up, "Morning, Pops, be safe." My son in Florida, he'll say, "Pops, I'm up already, had my coffee, heading out the door." So it's been a blessing because at the end of the day, you may have a lot of friends, but your family's going to be there through thick and thin.
Rod, do me a favor. Talk to all the dads that are going through their first Father's Day without their sons. What's the advice that you would give them?
Remember the good times and the bad times. I remember there's something that fathers do with their sons. It may be just once or maybe a routine, but you do it and you hold on to that memory. It's always there. Celebrate it. Do it again.
Yes.
Do it. If it was fishing, go fishing. Get a rod for him, because I knew he loved coffee, so I brought my thermos and I had my cigar, and I sat there for 30 minutes, if not longer. I drank my thermos and I smoked my cigar, And I don't think I did cry, but I also laughed.
Yeah.
Because I remember those moments.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I come from a large family, and I'm the first one of my mom's kids, the first boy to give her grandchild.
Right.
So my mom and Lil Rod were so close, and she spoiled him.
Rotten.
So, you know, you hold on to the memories. And you know, it's like, my son was on dialysis for a long time. And he used to always tell me, Pops, you have no idea how tired I be, how much it takes out of me. I know in my heart that once he transitioned over, as much as he may love us and love me, he wouldn't come back here for all the tea and china. Because he's at peace. He doesn't have dialysis anymore. He doesn't have to worry about a place to stay. The thing that really got me through, and I'm not ashamed to say it, was having someone like you to talk to. Because sometimes I would text you and say, like, it's been a tough day, and you would say, like, write it down. And I wrote it down.
Yeah.
And I wrote it down, so.
It's an honor for Erica and I to walk that journey with each and every broken heart. You know, it is such an amazing gift that we've been given to do that. And, you know, Erica and I had to go through something terrible to get here, but seeing every broken heart is just unbelievable. Erica, what is the advice that you would leave as we close out for every father going through Father's Day without their child this year?
Well, I just want to piggyback on what Rod said. You know, find the thing that you loved, the memory that makes you smile, and try to honor your loved one in that way of, like you said, the best coffee, having the best coffee, having the cigar. You have those, you know, private conversations that give you comfort. Try to do that. Try to go to that place where you can have comfort in those moments when your heart is really sad and, you know, you feel like you're missing them the most.
Friends, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I want to honor every father out there, every father that is going through their first Father's Day without their child. We want to send you good love, energy, and let you know that we're here for you. But most importantly, I want to dedicate this show today to my nephew, Peanut. Thank you so much for honoring me and coming into my life. Thank you, friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.